Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a while since we've had a nice, fun little gacha tribalism conversation over with the Hoyoverse side of the gacha pond, because I think one thing has become abundantly clear, right? Especially after a version like Wuthering Waves 3.1. Wuwa is just a better game than anything Hoyoverse has ever created, and it kind of just became indisputable following the release of Ameth, and of course following the release of that story. And one thing that you see just like die down in the gacha space following this version is kind of like the rampant sort of like war that's been occurring between the two communities. Yes, you have some people that keep schizoing out, but they kind of just have the vibe of like a mentally ill person yelling at the sky. They're just saying shit like, Kuro Games in-game animation works are 90% done by AI. Look, it's all like AI, they're copying from stuff. And like, these posts are so stupid and so bad, right? And they're done by people that are so mentally ill. They get ratios like 40k views and like 68 likes. It's more people bookmarking it to look at the retardation and like quote retweeting it and stuff than actually liking it and engaging with the post, right? There are more comments than likes. That's how you know this shit is not good. That is literally what like the war is right now. It's over. It's been over. But it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, just like that one Japanese soldier that was still fighting in World War II in like 1977, I think it was like 1972 or something. I don't got the dates right. It looks like JP is also reigniting this same exact war with the same exact type of Hoyoshill. But unfortunately, guys, it appears that the response here has been overwhelmingly in the favor of Kuro Games. But not really Kuro Games, it's just more like anti-Hoyo. So let's see the posts over here and how it started breaking down. We got dailies over here talking. This is basically an account that tracks how often Wuwa is getting dragged for no reason on social media. Let's read this post. Apparently there is a drama between the Hoyo and Wuwa JP community, and it all started because of Sagrika's description bedtime story, which Genshin fans thought we're copying Hoyo for some reason. So every community is just the same. A lot of people like to say EN is like the cause of all toxicity, and that like ENCCs, EN communities are the ones that are like cooked and like causing all the gacha tribalism. Bro, CN's worse and JP's just as bad. We're all just as bad. It's all just the same thing. Kind of just like, you know, like certain like nationalist mentalities of like, oh, yes. When the critiques come from an Asian person, they obviously mean more. Maybe that's why I have so many views. Anyways, we got this post by a JP person over here. Translated from Japanese, obviously, right? Bedtime story, Lamau. Quit copying Genshin already. Seriously. So remember how I talked about how there are like mentally ill people yelling at the sky, and we made fun of the fact that this had 68 likes, 40k views, and 99 comments? There's a reason why I showed this one first, because this is what's going on in the EN community, right? Bro, this one has 64 likes, 115 quotes, 21 reposts, 56 bookmarks, and 189k views. Good God, that's going crazy. And at a first glance, right, it's pretty fucking obvious how stupid a post like this is. These guys are basically saying that Genshin is the first company, the first fictional whatever that has ever done bedtime stories. They're saying Hoyoverse invented bedtime stories. Bro, you want to know when bedtime stories were created? When the first child was ever fucking born, bro. Do you know how much babies cry and shit, man? Do you know how, like, annoying kids are, bro? Bro, like, I'm pretty sure bedtime stories are, like, in line with human civilization. But now they're saying, oh, quit copying Genshin. How dare you? Sully, the Da Wei name, the Hoyo name. And so naturally, right, the responses in here are fucking hilarious, and that's what we plan on going over today, because, like, it's always nice to see what other regions, what other dialects and stuff like that think about retarded people. That's actually one of my favorite hobbies, right? I like seeing somebody retarded and then seeing what like a bunch of different nationalities think about somebody that's stupid. Because it does like give you insight as to like how they insult people, what they find to be like a proper response to like a certain level of retardation. And as you can see, there's a lot of it right here. And boy, oh boy, there's a lot of responses. So let's take a look at this. Sorry for chiming in from outside my followers. Bedtime stories refers to fairy tales told to children at bedtime. And it's not a made-up term created by... Bro, somebody's out here trying to, like... See, this is where you can see, like, the difference in regions, right? You got somebody from JP who's, like, actually trying to educate somebody that's this stupid. This is, in my opinion, not the right approach to take. Yeah, this is obvious for anyone that has done, like, anything ever. Like, unless you grew up with, like, wolves... or like dogs, I think you know what bedtime stories are. And I know there was like this one video out there of like this like this girl that like actually grew up with dogs and shit. All she does is like bark and stuff. And it's like, it's fucking weird, right? But like, yeah, that's why I listed it, because it is a valid example. But imagine actually writing this shit out. And next, this is one where we don't even need to see what the translation is. Because if you know this reference, ladies and gentlemen, this is referring to the fact that Noelle's animations with her claymore are basically a one-to-one with 2B from Nier Automata. And remember, the subject of this is Kuro plagiarizing Hoyoverse over a concept of a bedtime story. And so people start responding with Hoyoverse actually going ahead and plagiarizing shit in game. Guys, yeah, this, you can probably see where this is going. This is the most tame response of them all, is trying to educate them, but now it's getting into a whole Hoyo getting dragged situation. And I think the funniest part is that there's somebody with like a Farida Playboy, yeah, you probably already know where this is from, like a Farida Playboy profile picture posting this. Which is like, is this friendly fire? What's going on, right? So let's go ahead. Let's keep going. Let's keep reading a little bit further. I don't think there's any fandom. And this is by Sampo Honkai. Bro, JP appears to be like self-recognizing of how dog shit the Hoyoverse... Like, why is it that they're getting shit on the most by like Hoyoverse profile pictures? It's Sampo Honkai, bro. Like, I don't think there's any fandom or community with creepier fans or believers than Hoyoverse. Wuthering Waves fans are super chill and kind, you know. In fact, since I joined the woo-wah scene, I haven't gotten into a single reply battle almost at all. Back when I was in the HSR crowd, I'd have a pretty big reply battle like once a month. They're essentially talking about the fact that Hoyoverse players are mentally ill no matter where you go. And so that statement, every community is just the same. Yes, it's just the Hoyoverse community is mentally ill wherever you go. Something about those games, something about those mechanics, have people crashing the fuck out and lashing out on social media instead of asking the devs to make a better game. I heard there's another global passive in Honkai Star Rail. Yeah, you remember how that one went? Yeah, you guys remember how that one went? Yeah, there's another global passive, guys. Woohoo! And this one's pretty good, right here. Got it! Hoyoverse is a respectful homage, while Wuthering Waves is full-on plagiarism. And naturally, right? That's in direct reference, likely, to this comparison over here. That just shows how Hoyoverse is paying respectful homages to stuff, while Wuwa is plagiarizing for the mere crime of having a bedtime story. Yeah, guys, this is the drama that's occurred. This is the drama that has people with like hundreds of thousands of views, probably 1 million views total on all these posts, all over that. And so naturally, right, the responses just get funnier and funnier. Wait, this is a solid one too. Translated from Japanese. Let me just take a second for you to look at this image, because you already know this shit is about a cook. You already know this shit is about to be some hot fire right here. English is a language invented by the time traveler Darwin. Bro. The fact that this shit got translated into Da Wei is insane. I might need to start calling him Da Wei, bro. So even the most common nouns in English end up being ripoffs of Genshin Impact. You know, Judaism was also founded by Da Wei, and Christ is one of Da Wei's temporary guises. Bedtime story is also a term that was used in Genshin Impact a trillion billion years ago. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know who's funnier. Is it JP or is it CN? Because, like, the translation problems, the translation issues and stuff, they both make whatever either of them say way fucking funnier. And so this is a bit of a... That was a response to this post over here. And this is another example of where we don't actually need a breakdown of what's actually being said here. Bro, they're just going in and they're showing all of the homages in design, right? You got Jita from Grand Blue and then Lumine, right? Having the same design. You got Cagliostro from Grand Blue as well. And then the Herta's splash art. Or sorry, not the Herta, like the regular Herta. Her splash art. Then you have Alchemy Stars and Coleda, another Alchemy Stars person with their weapon. And then, you know, the ZZZ units. Uriel and Zhui, right? They're just going ahead and they're showing all the times that Hoyoverse has basically ripped splash arts. Not one-to-one, but pretty fucking close. And this Alchemy Stars one with Jade, bro, it actually looks like they just mirrored her. Yeah, that's yeah, it's not looking particularly good, right? And this is a post that we've actually covered in the past. Oh my gosh, Arknight's pose here with Jane Doe. Yeah, they're just stealing this shit completely. And then you have Karumi and Sparkle. Yeah, that's the take, right? And this is where the whole, oh, why are we out here throwing stones from glass houses, ladies and gentlemen? And the Hoyoverse fan base is literally one of the worst fan bases to be throwing stones like this in the first place, because there are so many iterations of them doing this level of just, you know, blatant copy and paste. And I think I actually had, guys, a video over a year ago that actually breaks down and shows all of this shit, man. Oh my gosh, this shit is ancient. Take a look at this. Bro, this shit was a year ago. This was like their Sunday PV. This was their fucking Sunday PV, and this is like Bailu, and these are basically all the same splash arts that we were looking at before. This was a year ago, ladies and gentlemen. This fan base is the one that's going ahead and trying to accuse others of plagiarism in this circumstance. And this is just a close-up of all the shit that we were just looking at, right? It's not looking good. And guys, this is the best part. How many more do you think have actually come out? I've already heard there are people trying to say that Hiyuki is a copy of Acheron. Hiyuki, right, is a copy of Ayaka. No, bitch, this is what copying looks like. No, bitch, this is what copying looks like. 100%. Everybody knows that. And so, there's so many resources available. There's so much public sort of like proof of what Hoyoverse has been doing behind the scenes. And it's so obvious, it's unreal. And I think the craziest part, guys, is that I think it just keeps getting worse. I think the issue is just going to keep getting bigger. Oh, no. Oh, no. Now, Sitlali from Genshin Impact is copying this unit from Punishing Grey Raven. Oh, no. This is what I meant. It just keeps getting worse. Now, Sitlali is copying Teddy. Whoopsies. Ooh. That... Oh, and remember, guys, these are the Genshin profile picture, the Hoyoverse profile picture people. Uh-oh, Spaghettio. Yeah, it looks like Alchemy Stars is not very happy about. I'm not gonna lie, maybe this person just hates Hoyoverse, bro. They seem to have all this shit on lock. I don't even know, like, bro, they have all of this just ready to go. Oh, that's not good. Now we got Lucillus, Phynon, and then Gilgamesh and Maide Ooh, whoopsies. That's another one. Yep, that's more recent memory, right? Ooh, good God. He has like, did bro have like an entire like 3 GB folder or like a 3 terabyte folder that he was just holding on to? Bro had a nuke ready. And apparently, Bedtime Story is a title from an Archon Quest Act 4 Chapter 6, and this is why they're saying this shit was... Bro, this shit is mad retarded. I have never seen a tribalism post backfire this hard before. That is my honest opinion. I have never seen a tribalism post backfire to this high of a degree where there was no reason to even make this one in the first place because the premise of it is the stupidest thing I think anyone's ever seen before. And the end result is that it's resulted in, like, so much additional glue, so much additional airtime, and so much more publicity of actual plagiarism. That's to a way higher degree than anything Kuro Games has ever done. This is bad. I'm gonna be real, right? Debut in 20. This is not good. That does not look good at all. But that's the reality, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's occurred. How many times has this happened in the EN community? A lot, right? People go ahead, they talk shit about Wuwa and EN, and then they end up getting dunked on like crazy, right? That's where the term gathering community notes came from, because these guys get fucking obliterated on like a weekly, monthly basis. And like I said before, after 3.1, it kind of stopped because people recognized their shit was cooked and that the battle was over. Wuthering Waves just won. Everyone understood that. But like I said before, there are some people, right? There are some people, 30 years after the war ended, that are still trying to keep fighting. And this is an example of what occurs, right? Imagine how much technology has advanced for that one Japanese soldier in World War II. Bro, like, just shoots at, like, a cruise, like, a destroyer at sea 30 years after World War II. His shit is gonna get fucking rocked. Just like this dipshit over here. Because, like I said before, this is the most absurd blowback I've ever seen. It's like, imagine you had, like, 4 Mirror Force cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! You got direct attack for 2,000 damage or whatever, and you just used 4 Mirror Forces at once, even though 3 is the legal limit, and I don't even know if you're allowed to have 3 in your deck, and you just one-shot the guy. That's what this shit feels like. Because the response, right, to the provocation is obviously way beyond the scope, but I don't think you can blame anybody for dropping all this shit over here when the topic is Hoyoverse and plagiarism, because they're easily the worst in the space. And as a bit of an additional bonus to bolster that argument that 3.1, Wuthering Waves, all of that has just been mogging the entire gacha space, we've got an official report from Tencent in their latest earnings release. Yes, this shit over here, but I know you guys are like nerds. Nerds are into this shit. You guys are like dumb nerds, so you don't want to look at this, right? Showing that Wuthering Waves was a major contributor to their rapid growth domestically and global gaming in 2025. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, 15% domestically, CN, and then 32% growth internationally. And so, yeah, that's from their official earnings report, ladies and gentlemen. So now we got this talk over here about what Wuwa actually did. It mentions winning player's voice, and then obviously talks about the massive amount of growth that the game had across 2025. And as we can see, that growth looks like it's not going to be ending in 2026 onward, because we know that 3.1 from Kuro Games, the CEO themselves, Solon Lee said 3.1 was their highest revenue banner or patch ever. So yeah, it looks like the game is not coming to a... If the game won awards like this and was a big part of growth in 2025, and 3.1 was their biggest revenue patch ever, clearly it's not really slowing down at all. Let me know what you all thought about this one, ladies and gentlemen, and peace out.